Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Prime Minister of Ghana.
After he had visited your country, John Gunther, the American writer, said that he thought Ghana had one of the greatest opportunities in the history of mankind. Now, would you agree with that?
I do, because this is an opportunity for the African to demonstrate to the world that the African, given the chance, can manage his own affairs.
And can you live up to this chance, do you think?
I think we are prepared to live up to this opportunity.
Hello, you are welcome to another beautiful episode of Beyond Indoctrination. It's been quite a while, but we are here again with another beautiful list of the top 20 most intelligent and smartest Ghanaians alive. Meaning, this list is not going to include any dead Ghanaian, no matter how smart they are, which of course would contain notable names. But these are the list of the 20 most intelligent Ghanaians alive. At the end of this episode, we are truly going to comprehend and understand the true definition of intellect, where it is not only about book, or it's not only about the certification, whether degree or whatever. Yes, it may include certification, which is the degrees, the diplomas, the MPhil, the PhDs, and etc. Because of course you have to be extremely bright and extremely very intelligent to be able to bag this certificate. Nonetheless, that is not the only level, or that is not the only phase of intelligence. So at the end of this list, you will understand individuals that has attained the prowess to be described as intelligent without necessarily having to go through that phase. Yes, and this list is actually coming off from a country that has been described as one of the lowest IQ countries in the world, and the list is everywhere on the media.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20.
And so could tell you the kind of people we are dealing with. Hence, these individuals that have been able to make this list, and even more, have been able to distinguish themselves and shown how prolific they can be in other conversations and in the fields they belong any part of the world. This episode is brought to you by the Universal Vision Technologies, UVTech for short, and they are into the transfer and the deposit of funds. No matter where you are, no matter where you are watching this from, if you want to make any deposits or you want to, send money, all you have to do is to contact them. And if you have it in your mobile money and you want it to reach anywhere, you want to even pay your fees, you can contact Universal Vision Technologies, and they've absolutely got you on this. And without much ado, let's get going. I have to make this clear. This list is not in any particular order. This list is not in any chronology. Hence, the ones that come first is not more or less than the ones that come last or in the middle. It's actually the top 20, in my opinion, and I'm sure most of you will agree with. And it is not that anyone that comes first is much better than anyone that comes later. Okay, so if we would proceed, the first on the list is Miss Elsie Efa Kaufman. This name sounds very familiar to most of us, especially those of us that are interested in the National Science and Maths quiz. this is the mistress for the show. And this woman is not only the host of the NSMQ. In December 2020, she was appointed as an associate professor at the University of Ghana. Again, in 2022, she was appointed the Dean of School of the Engineering Sciences on 1st August 2002. And her field itself is biomedical engineer. So, with the line of education, she's top notch, and not only that, she actually schooled in Pennsylvania outside the country as well. So for that, she's actually established, and this woman would no way be left out of a list of the 20 smartest and intelligent Ghanaians that we have.
The School of Engineering Sciences at the University of Ghana, my own students. Thank you so much.
And to proceed, we will have Professor Ransford Edward Van Jampo, one of my special people. Yes, he's a political science lecturer. He's a PhD in political science. He's mostly one of the pundits at Key Points and Ghana Today. Yeah, Ghana Today and Key Points on TV3. I normally watch them a lot, especially Key Points. And he's someone who is extremely fierce. He says the truth to power.
I voted for MPP in 2016, and in 2020, I drove from here to Achemfo Hammond or Sopon to go and vote for them. Okay, I had assessed, then in 2024, I had assessed what they had done. Okay, and then I had looked at what President Mahama had also done previously and compared it to also the kinds of things he said he was going to do. Based on this information that I had to make a choice, and that's what we say, objective choice. Okay, so I've heard people saying that, oh, but you guys were the neutrals, and so why do you go into government? It is unthinkable. You see, just as Ghana, we go to borrow money for the construction of roads. I would respectfully call on President Mahama that during his government, we must also look for money to deal with public ignorance.
And anybody who has been in the political scene for a while would some way somehow know Professor Ransford Champo, popularly known as such. And he's one of the guys who normally will tell you the truth no matter how it is, and is not ready to play the political games for anyone's interest. And we have Anas Aremiao Anas.
The last time you did an investigation was last year, towards the end of the year. For the last 6 or 7 months, you've been very silent. And knowing you, when you are silent, it usually means bad news for the bad guys.
You got it exactly right. That's how I work. I give some time, I take my time, and I can tell you, the next one, you will love it.
I'm sensing that there's something big coming here. Are you going to hint us what is coming?
The work that I'm doing now might be the last before we get into the election, but already the signs are very clear. And I can tell you, the foundations will be shaken once more. Stay tuned.
When you say the foundations, you're referring to Ghana's political foundations.
Exactly, that's the point.
All of us know this name. If you are in Ghana, this name is a household name. And he's known for the Kwesi Nyantakyi expose that happened some few years ago that brought about the corruption that is happening in the Ghana Football Association. Yes, so in the line of investigative journalism, this guy is one of the top dons in that department, and he won't be left out of the top 20 smartest and brightest Ghanaians we have. Number 4 would be Ashite Trebi Olenu. This is a big one. Even though he's not really popular and not in the Ghanaian media like the way Professor Jampo and Anas are always somewhere close to the media and the television, he's unlikely like that. He's a Ghanaian, and he into robotics. He's one of the Ghanaian robotics engineer at NASA. He has been associated with various NASA Mars missions, notably the Mars Rover and InSight projects. His fields are avionics, control engineering, and robotics. So this is one of the very special people that Ghanaians have and are not really celebrating. So what we can all do henceforth from knowing through this list is that you can go look him up, read and understand his foundation. It could be impactful to you or even to your children.
Mission that is going to make the footnote of history. I'm Ashti Trebulino, and I work on robotic arms for planetary exploration. This is a mock-up of the InSight lander. It's a one-to-one scale of the actual spacecraft. InSight, it's going to Mars and it's going to probe deep beneath Mars to be able to observe the fingerprints of how Mars came to be. On InSight, we have a robotic arm. You can see the upper arm, the forearm, and our responsibility is to pick up the instruments that the scientists are going to use to examine the planet hundreds of millions of miles away, blindfolded, and you want to precisely place it on the surface where the scientists want you to put it. It's kind of fun. When I was a kid in Ghana, I lived very close to the airport. So I was very interested in aircrafts flying and always dreamt of taking humans out of the cockpit and just making computers fly. And I think I'm doing the same thing here. We're making things autonomous. To see it from paper to actualization is just so much fun.
So number 5 will be Abraham Ben Mushi. This is one of the famous and the most popular free thinkers we have in the country, and he's a religious critic. He has single-handedly asked the most difficult questions that no one can really ask to religion, and he's involved in a lot of religious debate. This man has single-handedly whipped a lot of pastors in this town. If you know you are not really a strong person biblically, he is not the good guy. And there is no possible way that you can make a list of even the top 10 like most intelligent Ghanaians without mentioning him, even though he doesn't hold the certifications and the degrees and the MPhils and the but in fact he has whipped a lot of people who have all these. This should tell you that intelligence happens in different ways, and he's one person that has really proven that most of the educated people we have in this country are nothing but functional illiterates.
3 wise men that could be said Christo ni bi kura sa ombo mudi awonim.
No, it didn't the
E was say wuhu. Yen na ya astronomy, ni na ya wosoro. 3 wise men leading to the bright star towards the east, ni na ya astronomy. But o de ba from a na oba abakosem a 3 wise men no e Melchior, Beltazar and Jasper. No mu free he. Omo ye astronomers, no mu study constellation of the sun na omo de kodi Jesus story no. You kodi.
All right. So number 6 is Beatrice Ananfio. Okay, so this for me is a little bit of a tie. I don't know whether to call it a tie, but Beatrice Ananfio is someone who holds a similar profile to Samuel Adu, popularly known as Sammy Jemfi, the NDC communicating director. So both Sammy Jemfi and Beatrice Ananfio have obtained appointments by the president because they've been very instrumental in the NDC campaign session to win power. And everyone knows the hard work Sammy Jemfi has done, even though Beatrice Ananfio is not that popular as compared to Sammy Jemfi. People who are closer to the scene knows how fierce, how wonderful she is, and there is no doubt that she's making this list. For the line of female communicators, I think this woman is clear, and she's one of the finest like female lawyers that this country can look out for. But little said about Sammy Jemfi, the better, because he is obviously someone who is a household name. The number 7 is Alexander Afenyomarkin, and anyone who is closer to Parliament already knows who this man is. So Alexander Afenyomarkin is the current minority leader. He's a lawyer, and if you go see how this guy is vetting people in energy, in finance, in agric, and he's part of the vetting committee. He's always there when every minister comes. He has a question for everyone, and you realize how fierce and how robust he is. And I think this is one of the best minority leaders Ghana has ever had. And Afenyo Markin is actually supposed to make this list. And number 8 is Jacqueline Entry Danso.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Ejidanso, and I'm a Banting Postdoctoral Fellow at the University of Toronto. On this Friday's Astronomy on Tap event, I'm going to be talking about the farthest galaxies that we can see with the James Webb Space Telescope. This is very exciting science that we couldn't do up until the last 2 years, and so I'm very excited to tell you more, and I hope to see you on Friday.
So this one is also quite unpopular, just like Ashiti Trebi Olenu. Yes, so the University of Toronto actually wrote this on their blog when they were writing about this lady. The University of Toronto wrote this about Jacqueline Henry Danso when they were blogging her. And they were like, from a childhood fascination with the stars to Banting, a postdoctoral fellow, meet astrophysicist Jacqueline Entry Danso. And this is one Ghanaian lady that is hoisting her flag really high in the West. And she's actually someone who actually does something I actually like. And that is she also loves the universe as much as I do. And she's someone who also studies the stars. Her research interests include observational astronomy, galaxy evolution, then the high redshift of the galaxies, which includes their distance and everything.
Since their discovery in the 90s, distant galaxies that have stopped forming stars have consistently challenged astronomers' theoretical framework. They found 2 massive galaxies in the very early universe that had stopped their star formation completely. This meant that these galaxies were actually older than the age of the universe, which is physically impossible. The questions I'm interested in answering are: how early did these distant massive galaxies form? When did they form stars, and how did they stop or quench their star formation? And what does this all mean for astronomers?
All I would require is that you go look her up. You can check up all her social handles, especially on Twitter. And yeah, you would be able to comprehend what she shares and everything that she does. So yes, if you are looking for someone that your child would pick as a role model when it comes to the item of astronomy and astrophysics, then Jacqueline Enkidanso is someone that you can proudly make your daughter look up to. And please make these people your role models and not Cardi B and Nicki Minaj.
Final story for today, we are talking about Nana Appiah Mensah, also known as Nam1. We all know Nam1, right? Earlier this week, he released a statement speaking to his aggrieved customers that they should purchase a card worth 650 Ghana cedis. This card is actually going to help these customers validate their claim of their locked up funds. This got social media and Ghanaians furious. Because of the severe backlash he received, he hopped onto X Space to explain that everyone that purchased this card is going to get a refund. This made one member on the X Space call him a thief and got Nam1 very furious, asking the member to apologize to him.
So number 9 is Nana Appiah Mensah, Nam1, the CEO of Men's Good. This guy single-handedly pulled off the biggest Ponzi schemes in the country. And this is also a household name. Everybody know him to be the fraud guy, but some way, somehow, it takes some level of intelligence to be able to pull this off. You can have all the degrees and the certification in the world, but it takes some form of intelligence, it takes some form of planning, and it takes some personality to be able to pull this off. And there is no way that this guy is not making this list, even though he's in for, let's say, the negative reasons. But if we are talking about intelligence, it comes in so many ways. But if we consider the professor in Money Heist to be a very smart guy, if you watch Money Heist and think the professor is good, trust me, that is a fiction, that is a movie. But Nana Appiah Mensah is the real G. He is actually real. That he pulled this off, even though it is not a good thing. I'm not advising anybody to do that. and I actually wish that he's been able to pay all the customers involved. I actually would not be honorable to be able to name him as one of the 20 smartest people we have in the country. And number 10 is Dr. Doug Hayward Mills. Yes, he's the founder and presiding bishop of the Lighthouse Chapel International. He's a medical doctor and he joined the ministry afterwards. And I absolutely like his books, especially The Art of Leadership, which I actually bought when I attended the Lighthouse Chapel here in Suhum. Yeah, he's a very, very great writer. And I think that book is very good, regardless of your denomination. And yeah, he's one of the very few, if not the only pastor that I know from Ghana that follows NASA on Instagram. So he follows NASA on Instagram. I also do follow NASA on Instagram. So he's actually enlightening himself about the happenings of the universe. And he's actually very interested. So it makes him an astrophile of a kind. So if you have a bishop who is a great writer, who is into the ministry and he's a medical doctor, and you have this polymath, there is absolutely no way he's not making a list of the top 20 smartest Ghanaians alive.